The clock on your living room wall seems to tick louder now, almost a reminder of the time that insists on passing while you stand before the door that refuses to open. I see the weight on your shoulders, the same weight you've carried since the sun set, and the shadows began to lengthen across the floor. You've been searching for an answer, a sign, something to tell you exactly which direction to take, as if life were a road without forks where you could simply walk without having to decide. But the truth your heart has been trying to silence, and which I reveal to you today, is that your current indecision is in itself a choice. It's the deliberate choice to remain where you are, letting fear write the chapters that should belong to your story. I know you. I know your days when the silence of the house seems deafening, when you look at your phone waiting for news that doesn't arrive, or when you look in the mirror and don't recognize the woman who once dreamed of peaceful days. I see the subtle trembling in your hands as you try to organize your routine, the weariness that insists on dwelling in your eyes. You are not lost for lack of light. You are stagnant due to excessive caution. You are afraid that, in choosing, you will lose something. What you still don't understand is that, while you try to hold on to everything, you are losing what truly matters, the life I designed for you. If this word I bring now touches the deepest fibers of your being, make a record of this sacred moment. Write your name here in the comments, the country, state, and city from which you are watching me, and mark the exact time your soul decided to stop and listen to me. May this comment be your starting point, the sign that your posture has changed, and if you feel that this calling is personal, that it overflows from your chest like a cry for a new season, write, "Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and want to hear you. Let these words echo as your first decision towards the new thing I am preparing. Don't rush to close this video. I didn't interrupt your day by chance. There's something I want to whisper to your heart, a direction so clear that, if you allow your soul to remain here with me until the end, your vision will be restored. Often you believe that silence is my absence, when in truth it's the space I create so you can hear my voice above the noise of your own fears. But don't be mistaken, for what I have to reveal to you still holds mysteries you couldn't bear to understand if they were all given to you at once. You think you're waiting for a sign, but in truth, I'm waiting for a move from you. When you decide to release the shackles of what has already died, you will see that the path is not as dark as you imagined. There is still much I need to tell you about why I allow certain stones to remain in your path, hindering your hurried steps. But before I show you the reason, I want you to tell me. In the depths of your silence, when night falls and no one else is watching, what is the one thing you haven't yet had the courage to give me? I see your dawn. I know exactly how the silence of the house, when everyone around you rests, seems to weigh heavily and press on your chest. I know the times you get up, your bare feet touching the cold floor, walking to the kitchen just to get a glass of water or a distraction, while your mind fights battles that no one else can see. There is an exhaustion that doesn't come from the work of your hands, but from the uncertainty that dwells in your soul. It's as if, with each passing day, you carry an invisible baggage full of questions that begin with "what if" and end in emptiness. You look at the ceiling, searching for some sign in the darkness, and sometimes you have the distinct feeling that the sky is like bronze, impenetrable, as if your words hit the edge of your own house and returned without an answer. This inertia that drains you is not the result of weakness, but of your exhausting attempt to control what is beyond your reach. Your soul is weary because you have tried to be the architect of a future that does not yet belong to you, ignoring that the plans I have written for you are broader than your limited vision can bear now. I saw your tears, collected one by one, kept as treasure in my hands. You believe that this weariness is the final destiny, proof that your hope has dried up. But what you call exhaustion, I call stripping away. I'm removing from you everything that kept you tied to the ground, so that when the moment of your decision arrives, you will have the lightness necessary to fly in the direction I have pointed. You fear tomorrow because you imagine it without my presence, a grey scenario where you will have to walk alone. But tonight, in the privacy of your room, I want you to understand that your tomorrow is not a destination you will reach by chance, but a path we will build together. If your worry about the next day has consumed your sleep, let my peace, which surpasses all understanding, flood your mind. For it is written, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Your lack of peace does not come from a lack of provision, but from a lack of surrender. You have lived through days when the desire to give up speaks louder than the voice of faith, and I understand this vulnerability. It is human, it is real, and it is precisely there, at your limit, that my glory begins to be revealed. I have not yet shown you the beauty of what I have prepared after this period of waiting, because if I revealed it to you now, perhaps you would try to hasten the course of the river. What is to come demands a maturity from you that only the silence of this phase could grant you. Tell me, amidst all the uncertainties swirling in your thoughts right now, what is the small seed of hope you still hold, even if no one knows? If this word has found a home in your heart, leave your mark of faith in the comments, writing, "Your presence is my rest." Share this video with that person who, like you, also needs to understand that weariness is just a passage to something greater. And stay here with me, because there is still something I need to reveal to you about the obstacles I have placed in your path, and you won't want to miss the clarity that is to come. You spoke of the small seed of hope you hold, and I see it shining brightly amidst your weariness. This light is what keeps you standing when the world outside tries to extinguish your flame. And it is precisely in this ground of gratitude and recognition that I wish to guide you more deeply, so that your decision today becomes the foundation of a harvest that will span generations. If your heart desires to overflow with gratitude for this message that reaches you today, and if it is possible for you, only if it is possible, transform this recognition into a seed of love for this channel. Consider my love and that of my Son Jesus, and contribute using the link I left in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There, you will find the place where your offering can be deposited and consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can contribute with the amount your heart determines. If you want a different amount, just type it in. Remember, what matters is not the amount, but the love with which you give, because what is little for you can be much for the one who receives it. Those who, with a sincere heart, deposit their seed, do not forget to leave your name and city, because on the first day of the following month, in a special and unique video here in our space, the names will be mentioned and covered by my blessings and prayers. For it is written, each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I watch in secret and reward in the sight of all. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. Your surrender is a sign that you trust in the Master of Time, and I'm taking care of every detail of your story. I feel your willingness to align your heart with my purpose, and that is the first decision that truly changes everything. Now take a deep breath, rest your mind, and prepare to understand why certain stones remain exactly where you found them on your path. What would be your greatest joy if you could see today the result of this decision of faith? Many times you look at the obstacle in front of you as if it were an insurmountable barrier, a concrete wall that I erected only to see you suffer or to prevent your desires from being fulfilled. But, my daughter, you still don't understand that this stone, this situation that makes you stop and question today, is actually a stepping stone I carefully prepared so that your faith could grow taller. You only see the obstacle, the weight of the moment, but I see your root and how much it needs to strengthen to bear the weight of the glory to come. If the path were always smooth, you would never learn the strength necessary to climb the mountain I have prepared further on. I remember when you were in that kitchen, in the heavy silence of the afternoon, with the silent phone beside you and the coffee cooling in the cup. You felt that the world was stagnant, that every attempt to move forward encountered resistance, when, in fact, I was only clearing the environment around you. I was removing distractions, cutting the ties of what no longer served you, so that when your decision to break free finally happened, there would be nothing left to pull you back to your old life of uncertainty. That silence in the kitchen, which seemed like abandonment to you, was actually my invitation for you to look inward and realize that your security should not be in people or circumstances, but solely in me. For it is written, The testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. James chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. The difficulty you face is not proof of my absence. It is confirmation of your preparedness. I allow resistance because your heart still seeks security in what is visible, in what you can touch and control with your own hands. When the path becomes difficult, when your chest tightens at the sight that the plan did not flow as you expected, your human nature cries out for a return to what is familiar and sometimes mediocre. But my invitation is for the new, and the new is not born in the comfort of a life without choices. It demands the courage of one who decides to face the challenge, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. You still don't understand the extent of what I plan for you. If I removed every stone from your path today, you would still be the same person you were 10 years ago, trapped in the same pains and the same doubts. I left the challenge where it is, so that, by overcoming it, you will realize that the strength did not come from you, but from the one who sustains you in the lonely nights. But make no mistake, this is only the beginning of the revelation. What you don't yet know is that your decision to circumvent or climb this obstacle will change the destiny of your entire family, generating a lineage of faith that will honor my name for generations. If this word is finding a resting place in your spirit, and you feel that your vision is being adjusted, write in the comments, "I receive your direction." Share this message with someone who needs to understand that the challenge is part of the purpose. What is the stone? The challenge that today seems so large before your eyes that it prevents you from seeing the horizon of peace that I have reserved for you. And above all, what would happen if, instead of fearing this obstacle, you decided to use it as the foundation for your new beginning? Stay with me, because I haven't yet told you how I prepared your heart for this turning point. As you learn to see obstacles as stepping stones and not as walls, I want you to know that I will never let you walk through this fog without a guide. I understand that your daily life is made up of small urgencies, of noises that try to drown out my voice, and that is why I felt compelled to prepare something special to be your daily meeting point with me, a true balm for your loneliest hours. If your heart desires to delve deeper into our conversation and seek a constancy that brings peace to your thoughts, I have prepared for you a gift in the form of a journey that I wrote with much love and affection for all my beloved daughters and sons, the digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was designed to be your faithful companion, an outstretched hand in moments when you feel helpless, to accompany you day after day in silence and deep intimacy. Access is available at the link in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. And if today is not possible for you, don't condemn yourself for it. Stay with me here, for I too will sustain you through every word I give you in this message. And so that your heart may rest and not be confused, so that there may be no anxiety about how to use this gift or how to access it. After you register, access will arrive in the email you registered, containing all the simple, step-by-step instructions to begin your new journey. For it is written, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21. This devotional is not an end in itself, but a constant reminder that I am present on every page of your life. I want you to have this companionship for when the night is silent and the world seems too far away. Don't feel obligated to accept this invitation. Feel it only as a hug I send to tell you I haven't forgotten you. Stay with me, for we still have much to go through together, and my presence is your greatest security in all your days. I perceive the exact moment your hand hesitates. You are sitting at your living room table, with the phone in your hand, or that important decision written on a piece of paper before you. Your heart races, your pulse pounds in your neck, and you feel the weight of a responsibility that seems too great for your shoulders. You think, what if I'm wrong? What if this isn't the right time? What if I regret it? This fear of failure, which you call caution, has actually become the greatest obstacle between you and the perfect time I have prepared. You have been trying to protect your future from mistakes, without realizing that, in doing so, you have been protecting your destiny from beginning. I see your sleepless nights where your mind creates endless scenarios of failure, You project the worst possible outcome for every small choice, as if your mistake had the power to erase my sovereignty over your life. Daughter, the human fear of making mistakes is often just a disguised form of pride. It's your attempt to ensure everything goes according to your control, forgetting that your steps, however hesitant, are under my guidance. When you freeze out of fear, you are not waiting for my direction. You are waiting for the guarantee that you will not suffer, and that guarantee I never promised. What I promised was to be with you in all your valleys and on all your peaks, for it is written. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. This word is not an invitation to a risk-free walk. It is a mandate of courage for those who already know they will never be alone. Your fear of making mistakes paralyzes the plans I have drawn up. Not because failure is the end, but because your immobility is what prevents your journey from happening. I am the God who writes straight with crooked lines, the God who redeems your errors and transforms them into stepping stones of wisdom. When you allow yourself to act with faith, even feeling the trembling in your hands, you stop living according to what could go wrong and begin to live according to who I am. What you still don't understand is that your biggest mistake wasn't trying and failing, but spending so much time waiting for the moment when you would feel perfectly prepared. That moment doesn't exist. The perfection you seek is an illusion that keeps you trapped in the past, dwelling on what you could have done differently. While a new cycle knocks on your door asking permission to enter, I'm calling you to break free from this stagnation. If today your heart understands that fear is not a counselor, but a prison you yourself built, write your word of surrender in the comments. I surrender to your time. Share this message with someone who lives paralyzed by the shadow of their own doubts. What plan or dream have you kept in the drawer of your soul out of pure fear of not meeting the expectations of those who don't live what you live? I still have something very profound to show you about the moment of saying enough is enough, a rupture that will change your story forever, but I need your heart to be open to what comes next. Are you ready to discover what happens when you finally decide to let go of control? There's a moment in every story of faith where the whisper becomes a cry, where the desire for change ceases to be a simple hope and transforms into an urgent need, a definitive enough that resonates through the corridors of your soul. I see exactly that moment in your life right now. It's like that afternoon when you looked around, felt your home, your work, your relationships, and knew with painful clarity that what surrounded you no longer fit the woman I am transforming you into. This confrontation with your own passivity is not a punishment. It is the birth of a new season. When you decide to say enough to what hurts you, you're not only rejecting the past, you're opening space for the healing I have been secretly preparing. You have been carrying guilt that doesn't belong to you, and resentments that should have already been released. I see the weight on your eyelids when you wake up, that feeling that life is happening at a different frequency while you remain trapped in the same thoughts. But what happens when you finally decide to let go of the reins of your human protection? The rupture hurts because the new always unsettles. Breaking requires you to detach yourself from the security of what you already know, even if that known thing causes you suffering. It's like a cocoon breaking. If the butterfly doesn't exert force, if there's no struggle against the walls of its own limitations, it will never develop the necessary muscles for flight. For it is written, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Isaiah chapter 43, verse 19. Your rupture is not destruction, it is restoration. When you declare that you no longer accept living under the shadow of indecision, heaven moves to align your circumstances. The healing you seek is not in finding the perfect environment, but in deciding to be the woman who inhabits my peace in any environment. I'm inviting you to break the bonds with the fear of being who I called you to be. The people around you may not understand your new posture. They may even find your new silence or your new firmness strange. But do not fear human judgment. Your destiny does not depend on their approval. It depends on your obedience to what I whisper in the secret of your heart. This confrontation with your own passivity is the key that unlocks the door you have been staring at for months. It's not about what you have to do, but about what you have to let go of. The question I ask you at this hour, and which echoes in the depths of your being, is, if you were not afraid, what would your soul be doing now? If you decided today that your past does not define your future, what would be the first action you would take tomorrow upon waking? Write your breakup statement in the comments. The new has arrived. Share this message with someone who needs the courage to start over. Stay here because clarity about your future is closer than you think. You look at your hands and wonder where the miracles you've been asking for are. You wait for change to fall from the sky like a gentle rain, altering the scenery of your life while you sit watching time pass through the window. But I tell you at this moment that passivity is not an act of patience, it is a deviation from purpose. There is an abysmal difference between waiting for my time and waiting for time to do the work for you. While you wait for the walls to fall by themselves, I am waiting for you to take the first step towards the wall, with the confidence of one who already knows that, on the other side, my promise awaits you. Remember that morning when the sun filtered through your curtains and you felt a clear impulse to call that person, to look for that course, to change that habit, and you stopped. You felt the tremor in your voice and the fear of rejection, so you preferred the comfort of your routine, the lukewarm coffee, the protective silence. This was the moment when your passivity silenced the miracle I was trying to orchestrate in your day. The commitment that generates the supernatural isn't something that happens in a church service, nor in a grand revelation. It happens in the microcosm, in the decision to get out of bed and do what needs to be done, even if your chest still feels the echo of fear. For it is written, "So also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." James chapter 2, verse 17. Your action in faith is the fuel for my response. When you get up and move, you're telling the spiritual world that you trust what I have told you more than what your eyes see. You don't need all the strength in the universe. You only need the courage of a mustard seed. It is in this small daily decision, in the firmness of saying no to what holds you back and yes to what builds you up, that the supernatural begins to stitch up the wounds that your indecision caused. I'm not asking you to build a cathedral. I'm asking you to tidy up your heart so that I can dwell in it without the old furniture of your insecurity. But there's still a detail you don't understand about your last prayer, something that happened that night when you knelt crying, asking for a sign. You thought the sign didn't come, that the sky was silent, but you didn't realize that the very force that made you kneel was already my hand sustaining you. Your prayer wasn't ignored. It was the trigger for a journey you haven't finished yet. What I'm preparing now is greater than anything you've asked for in words. If today your heart understands that faith is movement and that your posture determines your harvest, leave your cry in the comments. I act in faith. Share this message with that person who needs to stop waiting and start believing. What would happen if, from today onwards, every small decision in your routine was seasoned with the certainty that I am walking beside you? Prepare yourself, for what I will reveal next will change the way you look at your tomorrow. You look at the horizon of your life and often try to predict the outcome of 10 years based on the pain you felt in the last 10 days. But your tomorrow is not an automatic extension of your current frustration. It is the fertile ground awaiting the seed of the decision you will make now. Do you remember that dream you kept hidden? The one you thought was just an illusion of your tired mind on a sleepless night? I want you to understand that that dream was not born from you. It was born from me, planted within you like a map of where I want to take you. You have treated that dream as a burden, a reminder of what did not happen, when in fact it is the compass pointing to your destiny. Your future is not an accident, nor an event that simply runs you over while you live passively. It is built brick by brick, choice by choice, renunciation by renunciation. I see your hesitation in letting go of that security, which, in truth, no longer brings you peace. You cling to what is known, to what gives you the illusion of control, fearing that if you let go, you will be left with nothing. But I am here to tell you that your nothingness in my hands is all you need to be transformed. The tomorrow I have prepared demands that you be a woman who does not live in yesterday, but in promises that have not yet been fulfilled, but which are already real in my timetable. For it is written, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29:11. This hope is not a vague feeling. It is the certainty that your courage to choose today will have repercussions in eternity. You are not just deciding on a job, a relationship, or a change of home. You are deciding who you will be when the storm passes. And when it passes, you will look back and realize that every choice you made with your heart aligned with my will fares what brought you to the place of honor I have always reserved for you. Do not be afraid to be different, to follow a path that few understand. Your testimony will be forged in your ability to dare, to believe that, even with the scars of the past, your best chapter has not yet been written. You have asked for light for your future, but I am giving you light for your next step. That is enough. If you want to see tomorrow, begin by honoring the present with an attitude of faith. Write your word of confidence in the comments. My future is in your hands. Share this message with someone who feels lost in the vastness of tomorrow. What is the deepest desire of your heart that, if fulfilled, would make you finally feel that you are living the purpose I designed? Stay with me, for the silence that follows now is the prelude to the relief your soul has so desperately needed. Do you feel this peace that begins to radiate now, even if the world around you hasn't changed an inch? This is evidence that when your will bends towards my direction, the weight doesn't disappear by magic, but your ability to carry it is renewed. I saw the moment you stopped fighting the current and allowed my current to guide you. This doesn't mean the problems have ceased or the stones have disappeared from your path. This means that you no longer walk alone, and my presence is your guarantee that no challenge will have enough power to immobilize you. Remember the anguish that accompanied you in recent days, that lump in your throat that always appeared whenever you tried to plan your future. That was the result of trying to fit eternity into time boxes limited by your fear. When you understand that your rest is not in the absence of problems, but in the certainty that I am greater than all of them, something within you is reconfigured. It's like entering a house after a long journey in the rain and finally feeling the warmth of the fire. It's not that the storm outside has stopped. It's that here inside, where I dwell in your heart, you are protected. For it is written, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I take refuge." Psalm 18:2. This rock does not waver with your uncertainties. She is not swayed by her mistakes. She is firm, constant, unchanging, and it is on this foundation that we will build everything that remains for you. You don't need to have all the answers today. You only need to have the confidence that, when the moment of the next choice arrives, I will be whispering the answer in your ear, guiding your steps. The peace you feel now is my mark, the sign that you have accepted the invitation to stop being the architect of your destiny and become the daughter who trusts in the Father's guidance. If this peace has touched your innermost being and you feel that your spirit has finally found a safe harbor, write your word of surrender here in the comments. Your peace is enough for me. Share this message with someone who lives in constant turmoil and needs to learn to rest in me. What is the situation that used to keep you awake at night and that now, upon perceiving my presence, seems to lose the power it had over your soul? Prepare your heart, because now in the silence that follows, the final answer will be delivered to your spirit. You've come this far, and your heart, once heavy with doubt, now beats to a different rhythm, the rhythm of confidence. I saw every moment your will wavered before the need to choose, but I also saw your persistence in seeking my voice above the noise of your own insecurity. The decision you needed to make, the one that seemed like an insurmountable abyss before you, today transforms into a bridge, not because the abyss has disappeared, but because you have learned to walk on the water of my promise. The indecision that paralyzed you no longer has a place in your new day, for your identity is restored and your posture has been aligned with my purpose. I promised you in those very first moments that there would be a key, a whisper that would hold the essence of your entire process and open the door to what is yet to come in your story. This key is not a complex secret, nor a magic formula, but the deepest truth that your soul needs to engrave in its memory to face each day of your new time. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This phrase is much more than words. It is your shield, your sword, and your light in the midst of the darkness that tried to surround you. I want you to leave this declaration recorded in the comments as an act of total surrender and the definitive seal of your commitment to me. Right now. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. By doing so, you release over your home, over your mind, and over your projects an authority that no fear can contain. It is your testimony that passivity has given way to divine action. Do not forget that my voice will not be silenced in these lines. There are paths that I will open before you that you cannot yet imagine, and new directions that I will whisper to your heart in messages that I have prepared especially to guide you. To continue hearing what heaven has to reveal to you, immerse yourself in the playlist I have prepared, where my voice continues to guide you step by step, in the restoration of everything you thought you had lost. Your journey with me has only just begun, and I will never leave you helpless as long as you choose to trust. Feel my love enveloping your silence, dispelling your fears and restoring your courage. What I began in you today, I will bring to its fullness,